You better learn how to walk away and cut a chick off. Not out of pettiness, not out of spite, but out of power. Because if you don't, if you stick around begging, chasing, compromising your principles, you're not the strong one. You're the fool. You're the dried-up hustle. You're the one she'll discard the moment she's bored, the moment you stop feeding her ego. See, most men are trained backwards. They think loyalty means staying through disrespect. They think masculinity means tolerating chaos. They think if they just prove how much they care, she'll eventually reciprocate. But that's a fantasy. Reality is sharper, cleaner. If you don't know when to walk, you'll be dragged. If you don't know your value, you'll be treated like you're worthless. When a woman knows you won't walk away, you lose leverage. She controls the tempo. She controls the dynamic. And from that point on, everything becomes performance. You're performing for her validation. You're twisting yourself into someone you're not, just to keep her interested. And the moment she sees you doing that, she loses respect for you. Instantly, she senses the weakness, and attraction dies the moment respect fades. Here's the raw truth. Respect matters more than love. Love is emotional. It's inconsistent. It's vulnerable to manipulation. But respect, that's solid. That's foundational. And no woman will ever truly love a man she doesn't respect. That's the law. So you better stop measuring your worth by how much you're willing to endure. You better stop thinking the longer you stay, the more she'll see your value. That's not how this works. Your value is not proven by suffering. It's proven by standards. It's proven by what you walk away from when it no longer aligns with your self-worth. When you have the courage to walk away, everything shifts. She sees it. She feels it. That energy, that unshakable confidence that says, I won't tolerate this. That's power. And power is what ignites attraction, not desperation. Power is what keeps her thinking about you long after you're gone. Not because you're playing games, but because you refuse to be played. There's a difference between a man who values himself and a man who clings. One commands the room. The other follows her around like a lost dog hoping for scraps. So you decide, do you want to be the one who sets the tone, or the one who's always reacting? Walking away isn't weakness. It's dominance. It's the final word. It's saying, I don't need to prove anything. I know what I bring to the table, and if you're too blind to see it, someone else will. And that's not arrogance. That's truth. That's honor. That's principle. Stop fearing the loss. Start fearing the erosion of your own standards. Because every time you stay when you should walk, you chip away at your identity. And eventually, you'll look in the mirror and not recognize the man staring back. You'll see a reflection of someone who once had a backbone and lost it for approval. But when you walk away on your terms, you don't just leave the situation. You reclaim yourself. You return to your own center. You tap into something few men ever master, the art of controlled detachment. That's power. That's freedom. That's what makes you dangerous. Walking away isn't just about leaving her. It's about confronting every part of you that was afraid to be alone. The fear that made you compromise, that kept you silent when you should have spoken up, that made you ignore the disrespect just to feel wanted. That's the real battle. And when you win it, you become a different breed, a man who's bulletproof to manipulation. You start realizing how much of your power you gave away. You gave it when you tolerated the games. You gave it when you kept giving chances. You gave it when you prioritized her comfort over your clarity. And once that power is gone, so is your edge. That quiet fire inside you, the one that made you a force. That's what dims. That's what gets snuffed out when you trade self-respect for temporary companionship. But the moment you pull it back, you become magnetic. Not to her necessarily, but to yourself. You start showing up different, sharper, clearer. You stop negotiating with disrespect. You stop begging for loyalty. You stop entertaining chaos. That shift, internal, permanent, is when you become the man you were meant to be. A woman can feel that energy. It's the difference between a man who needs her and a man who chooses her. One moves from lack, the other from abundance. One is grasping, the other is grounded. And when you become the man who walks because he won't settle, not because he's hurt, everything changes. You stop reacting and start deciding. Now she's not in control of the story. You are. You're not chasing. You're observing. You're not proving. You're choosing. You're not stuck. You're centered. Because walking away isn't just an action. It's a message. And that message says, I am the prize. I am the value. I will not beg to be seen. Let others live in fear of being alone. You thrive in solitude. That's where warriors sharpen. That's where leaders grow. That's where kings are made. You enter solitude, and you don't shrink. You expand. And once you've built from that place, no woman can hold your soul hostage again. The moment you walk away for real, not for show, not as a tactic, but with complete certainty, something inside you clicks. That silence you once feared, it becomes your sanctuary. That emptiness you used to dread, now it's space for growth. And that heartbreak you thought would break you, it becomes the scar that reminds you who the fuck you are. You stop playing defense with your life. You stop accepting the bare minimum. You raise the price on your energy. And suddenly people who used to waste your time can't afford you anymore. That's not ego. That's evolution. This is what it looks like when a man chooses himself. You become unavailable to manipulation, immune to bait, unshakable under pressure. Because you've already faced the hardest truth, that your peace means more than her presence. You've already buried the version of you who used to settle. Now every move you make is deliberate. Every word is measured. You're not reactive. You're strategic. You don't get pulled into drama. You exit before it starts. Because you know what chaos costs, and you're not paying with your sanity. You value your peace like treasure, and you guard it like a king guards his kingdom. And if she circles back, if she tries to rekindle what she once thought she controlled, she won't find the same man. She'll find a version of you she can't access. Not out of revenge, but because you've outgrown her reach. Her chapter ended the moment you remembered who you were. You don't just walk away to escape. You walk away to evolve, to build, to dominate. And when the right one shows up, she'll know exactly what kind of man she's dealing with. A man who doesn't flinch. A man who doesn't fold. A man who doesn't fear solitude because he's built empires inside it. That's you now. Built different. Moved on. Locked in. Walk away power isn't just a move. It's a lifestyle. And it's permanent.